$3.3 billion. Money that was not meant for any development in Nigeria, but money meant to defend the Nigerian naira from getting to 5,000 naira to $1. So they decided to start giving this money to their friends. Yes, dollar subsidy from September. They got 2 billion, Baba. These guys used $12 billion worth of crude oil from Niger Delta, Nigeria, as collateral for a loan of 3.3 billion. That if Nigeria failed to pay back that money in 5 years, which is going to be 2028, the lender, Afrexim Bank, they have the right to bring in their friends into the creek of Niger Delta and begin to extract the crude oil from that place. They have the right to take 67 million barrel of crude oil. Is how much money that Tinubu pledged as collateral at that early age. Now they are coming out to say, yeah, we spent 3.8 trillion. Let's do the math. $1 trillion at that time would be, 1 trillion naira would be, no, let me use this. This one is straightforward, okay? I remember them taking 2 billion from Afrexim with the promise of the remaining $1.3 billion to be released to them in June from this month. I also remember them taking another $4 billion loan from the World Bank and IMF during that period too. I also remember these guys going into the Nigerian foreign reserve and taking over $2 billion. All of this at the time of saying they were defending the naira. Okay, so now let's use, they said finally they spent 3.8 trillion on subsidy that they told you was gone. So $1 billion at the time was probably around 700 billion naira. So 2 billion will be 1.4 trillion. 4 billion will be 2.8 trillion. And 5 billion will be 3.5 billion. Let's say these guys, they successfully stole over $6 billion in the name of subsidy in the last 7 months. That should jot to you. I mean, because it was at the same time, at the same period, that the liter of petroleum jumped from 167 naira per liter to over 700 naira per liter. And all of you then, even though you were not happy, you thought you were only paying your own sacrifice. Because one day, Dangote refinery will start working and Nigeria will no longer need to import. Only for these fraudsters, who didn't tell you that Dangote refinery, in the name of Dangote refinery, over $10 billion gone down the drain from the Central Bank of Nigeria in the name of Dangote refinery. Now, that refinery should be owned by all of you and not Dangote. However, the story started changing again. Dangote refinery that is coming to reduce the price of petroleum in Nigeria is not going to reduce any price in Nigeria because it is not a charity. Coming from the same people who told you that Dangote refinery will be refining over 650,000 barrels of crude oil every day, more than what Nigeria will need. The rest of Africa will pay, while Nigeria will enjoy cheapest oil supply. Abi? Then they said, no, that's not true. In fact, Dangote refinery is going to be importing crude oil from Texas in America. So think about that. How do you now expect him to sell it cheap? The same people who told you that a Dangote refinery will be sold the crude oil, Nigeria crude oil in Naira. Anyway, the whole lie shall continue to replay and play and play and play. And you are there. Believing them. Hoping that they can one day shame somebody like this Mayegun. This guy that never see anything good about this government. He never see anything good about Nigeria. Very soon now, when all this reform starts coming out, I'll start manifesting, this Mayegun will shut up. Because the lies they told you, okay, and the expectation you have is not manifesting. In your disappointment, see, you are still abusing me. You are still blaming me. Then you are sometimes foolishly and stupidly asking me what is the way forward. Emi Atieni, which way forward? Iboni way forward. You are believing their lies. Some of you are secretly praying that what they are saying is true so that you can possibly have something to actually be happy of or happy about. They continue to play you again and again and again. And many of you are willing slaves that are ready to not only go on social media to repeat the nonsense they say because they are wearing suit and tie. Because they went to Harvard, they went to Oxford. All the people who go Harvard went to Oxford who are not Nigerians. Have you looked back have you checked on them and see what they are contributing to humanity? Look at the rogues you have in Nigeria and what they are contributing to. They lied to you. So many of you wanted to believe the lies. But the truth is always staring everybody on the face. So what are you going to do about it when you find the truth? Oh, my God will judge them, Jare. You get that? So government is not just about mounting blocks, building buildings and all of that. If you do not have, there's something called the human capital development. It is the most invaluable asset for the mankind. Human capital development. Develop the humans. They become more productive. The more productive they become, the more bountiful reward the state will recoup from them. But you have voodoo economists. You have a snake venom merchants, economic saboteurs, and shameless old liars wearing suit and tie, destroying lives, destroying dreams, and taking no responsibility for any. So yes, just so you know, Nigeria will spend 5.4 trillion on subsidy to make the matter worse, to show to you that contraption is a lawless contraption. There is no budget. There is no budget provision for subsidy. According to Tifnumbu last year, there was no provision for subsidy. And because there was no provision, subsidy was gone. But they still went on to pay over $5 billion to themselves and their friends, while you pay over 400% on the same fuel. They scammed you, they scammed the country, and they are not taking any responsibility for that. But they will never take any. Now they are saying it to all of you, that the same Wale Edun is going to be on TV tomorrow or even this evening. Is going to tell you that the reason why people are facing what they are facing is because subsidy was gone. People should understand that, Nigeria is no longer paying subsidy. Yet, the same Edun granted a press conference and said, well, this is how much we have paid, and this is why we are not in a better financial position to pay this new salary. I'll tell you more about that later. Let's go to the next one. The next one right now is that of Werewike. Abuja people, I think you'll begin to start knowing why Werewike is your FCT minister. Tinubu said he was told never to appoint him as minister, but he went ahead anyway to still appoint him. And right now, Werewike is doing great. And Werewike to Tinubu is like, sir, you have done so well, oh. I swear, call Lucosento, nobody can challenge you. In 2024. Here. That's Werewike. Oh.
I have told you, yes, sometimes it is good to bring the pictorial picture of what was, so that people can appreciate it. Now the road is done. Nobody would know how it was. So I've told him that next time you should be able to show the pictorial so that people understand, appreciate what you have been able to do. And I believe by the grace of God that people here will appreciate. In fact, I don't want to talk politics now, but I do know it will be difficult. It will be difficult for anybody to challenge you in FCT. It will be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Well, I dare say so, because the facts are there. The things are there. It's not about theory now. It's about the reality. You say you will do this. Have you done it? Yes. You say you will do this. Have you done it? Yes. So what are we talking about again? So I sincerely thank you. And I want to...
Abuja people, they said they are going to build the road. They have built it. They said they are going to give you street lights. They have done it. Well, it's gonna be difficult for anybody to challenge Tinubu. So Werewike is going to bring his army of terrorists like he did in Rivers State. Is already stationing them, positioning them for the 2027. I mean, like, you're going to see that happen. Abuja people, I hope you will be ready, right? You cannot challenge Kolu. And it is the same all over the place as they believe. Okay? I mean, come on. You have been, when they talk about state capture, sometimes a lot of you need to understand what it truly means. What does development mean for these guys? Is development about just building roads or building schools or building hospitals? More than it. It is not the building that makes it a school. It is the staff, what do you call it? The staff that actually runs the operation of that building that we make it a school, if they are paid and if they are actually adequate too. We have seen, I mean, it's so obvious. These guys are more interested, okay? That is if they ever did, right? They are more interested in awarding contracts of billions and billions, right? So that they could cut tape on roads, while their people are expected to actually be grateful that they have a road, even if they don't have a job, if they don't have, and mind you, even if you have to do all these major projects as well, you could actually make them. They do not want to make investment, any real one, in the power sector, where for real, that could help them to change the lives of millions of people who can actually handle themselves. I mean, but they would want you to be so grateful that they are constructing a single road, a kilometer of road for 4 billion, 3 billion naira per kilometer, and all of that. Mostly, right? Badly done too. But nevertheless, they want you to be so grateful. You should be grateful. We do not have jobs. Shut up your mouth. The government is busy. We just commissioned the road yesterday. Did you see that 2-kilometer road? Soyinka Highway. That is development. That is going to bring investors. That is going to bring in. So, but what about security? Security won't bring investors. Oh, we are doing something on that. We just got the tape on monorail yesterday. Kind of. So that is what you have. And the rogues in charge of Nigeria probably just are the luckiest, right? They are the luckiest in the world. Their lawmakers are earning over 50 million naira, the highest paid in any part of in the world. Somebody, all these voluntary slaves in Nigeria and their influencers said there is no country in Africa where 400,000 naira is being paid as minimum wage. Of course, there are places in Africa where they are earning even double of that as minimum wage, but that's not the point. Do you know anywhere in Africa where a senator is earning over 50 million of their own currency? In Nigeria, a senator earns over 55 million. That's the one they put in their law. The one that is outside that is quite, more, where, few people are going to kind of steal over 7 trillion naira from their own budget this year alone. Few people. So tell me any legislator in Africa, in Ghana, do you have a Ghanaian lawmakers that are earning Ghanaian senators that are earning 50 million cedis a month? Do you? Do you have any South African lawmaker that is earning 50 million rand a month and earning 600 million rand a year? Do you have them in South Africa? Of course, there is none anywhere except in that contraption, Nigeria, the poverty capital of the world. Yeah, you heard me? You heard me? It's unfortunate, okay? And I remember that it is also a place whereby don't try to be a whistleblower, because at the end of the day, the people don't actually really hate corruption. They are just not really happy whenever they are not the ones benefiting from it. Do you understand? So when you want to be a whistleblower, you might be putting your life at risk. It's not worth it, mostly, right? But nevertheless, if you are doing the whistleblowing just for the sake of humanity, then go ahead. But if you are doing it because you think you want to help Nigeria or Nigerians, no, come on, you're wasting your time. Okay? So these rogues, it is like a calculated, premeditated, predetermined, intentional act of these guys to keep that contraption as it is. We are helping you. We are doing you a favor. No, they are not doing you a favor. You are doing them a favor by letting them ride roughshod on you like this. But it won't be for long. I mean, if I say, like they say in Yoruba, I will say in Yoruba, Atenimeni, yeah, right? So the few more time, the days or the weeks or the month to when this whole casala will burst, to when this shit will hit the fan, is not as long as the years of endurance, tolerance of all this madness. It is going to come to an end. You just need to stop taking in their lies. You have to. Okay? They lie to you with confidence, and then because they know you're going to sit there and just take it in, swallow it. It's unfortunate, and it is embarrassing too, right? So that's, I have a report. This one happened, I think, 2 days ago, somewhere in Port Harcourt, okay, where a truck carrying cylinders, suspected to be gas cylinders, crashed into a truck, okay, and then exploded. The scene.
So there's a car right here. The truck fell on the car. You can see the car right there. So people are just walking around. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of people right here witnessing what has just happened, and the fire service people, they are trying to put off the fire. They've actually succeeded in putting off the fire.
Terrible. was 2 days ago. And yesterday, the man that blew the whistle on the padded budget of 2024, Senator Ningi, he returned back after 3 months of suspension. He returned back to their Senate chamber yesterday. And this was not just him, I think another guy too. 2 of them returned. They were suspended for 3 months for raising the alarm over the inflation of Nigeria's 2024 budget of Tifnumbu. Tifnumbu submitted 25 trillion naira budget. The Nigerian Senate passed 28.5 trillion naira budget, only for us to discover, or through this guy, to discover that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of fake projects that were going to go up over 7 trillion naira from this 2024 budget. Imagine what 7 trillion can do. That can offset the annual minimum wage demand of these workers. The Minister of Misinformation said if Nigeria should go ahead and pay 494,000 naira salary of minimum wage to workers, that would take their yearly wage to 9.5 trillion naira. That means they can pay it. But guess what? Less than 100 people are already stealing over 7 trillion naira from the 2024 budget with fake projects. It became public. Everybody reacted and everybody just moved on. Those guys are cashing out now. Tifnumbu still signed the budget. They are releasing money for all that now. Okay? And that's all Tifnumbu wanted. Tifnumbu is somebody that you should know. The reason why it's going to be difficult for you to legally remove Tifnumbu in that contraption. Tifnumbu is someone that is not going to complain about everybody stealing and having their own fun, as long as they are all on the same line with him. Don't be stealing and then become a saint that is going to criticize him. No, they will deal with you. But as for looting Nigeria, Nigeria will be looted like you've never seen before. Read my lips. Nigeria will be looted like you have never seen before. It's already happening. Yeah? Tifnumbu is somebody that just take what you want to take. I'm not going to complain. 7 trillion naira is embedded in this 2024 budget, exposed, but nothing is done about it. It's been signed, the money is being released. But imagine if that 7 trillion is available, and that is kind of added to whatever they have to pay the workers. And imagine that 7 trillion available in Nigeria economy from the pocket of those who are working. Those of you who have businesses, around that time, you actually have real patronage. So instead of asking the government not to pay them that, because it's going to break, so many other people who are not government workers, they will not be able to pay their own workers and the rest of that. You should ask them to focus on bringing down the hyperinflation, pay the workers, because that money is still going to be paid anyway, but it's not going to be to the 40 million workers. It's going to be for just less than 100 people. 7.4 trillion naira. That is the padded amount inside the 2024 budget by Akpabioli and the rest of them. Less than 100 people will steal that. For 40 million Nigerian workers cannot share that and spend it inside the Nigeria economy. You see that? Well, that's Nigeria. So the guy returned yesterday, and this was how it went.
Okay. Yes, sir. You're welcome back.
Members of the press.
Yes, you're welcome back.
Sir. Thank you very much. I got all your messages.
Thank you, sir.
You say what?
Sorry to enjoy your leave, sir.
Did you enjoy your leave? Did you enjoy your leave?
Very much, very much.
You're
very
welcome.
Much.
You're welcome.
Welcome,
You're welcome.
Let's go and bring another car.
Okay.
I will send it to you now. You don't go back. I'll send it to you.
Okay, we'll just stay here. Yeah. Yeah, let me out. Provide the lesson. Yeah, thank you. Provide the lesson.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct, arrival.
that's very
So they are back to business as usual. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first, the conclusion of the first part of this brunch time chat. So what is next now is going to be us going to the part 2, the reading of the white malice. If you are the type that probably just don't like reading, well, you've had your shot, okay? So I'm going to be reading for the next 1 hour.